So he goes, hey, Frank, I visited our local Costco today. Because I know everyone's talking about supply chain shortages, but I did not observe it here. We in suburban Philadelphia. Here are a few observations. We want to secure turkey as we heard there was a shortage. Costco was fully stocked with both organic and regular turkeys. The regular butterball turkeys cost 99 cents per pound. I paid $20 for our turkey, which will feed 6 of us and give us another day of leftovers. Think about that, $20. I ordered DoorDash the other day for my daughters because we went out, ordered DoorDash, and it was like $40 for 2 orders of Chick-fil-A. DoorDash. I don't know how that company's losing money. They generate, their revenues are going higher. They're losing more and more money. I don't know any DoorDash driver. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if this is bad saying this, but if I was a DoorDash driver and there's like McDonald's fries next to me and that bag's open, I'm definitely taking one. I mean, it's McDonald's French fries, right? You got to take one. Who doesn't take McDonald's French fries? I don't know. Just crazy, but they do well. But $20, again, for turkey, feed 6 of you, that's pretty good. And you're going to have leftovers. Because there are plenty of Christmas supplies and toys as well as clothes for kids. There were ample supplies of toilet paper, etc. 60 Minutes at a spot on the back of shipping containers and how high the container prices climbed. Here is food for thought, and no pun intended. Is supply shortage equally spread throughout the country? Is it a fake crisis? What I mean is that maybe there was too much inventory right in the U.S. Is this truly a supply issue leading to inflation, or are people taking advantage of pricing power? I found it interesting to hear people across the country talk about prices rising. Some of our local places have secured reasonably priced local produce and goods, which has held prices in check. We do not live in a rural area. Our area is a typical upper middle class suburb called, and I won't give it out, but it's in Pennsylvania. And he said that it's Republican, and his U.S. rep is Brian Fitzpatrick, a Republican, who's one of the 13 people who voted for the infrastructure plan. Best bill. Just give me an idea of his area. Bill, I think the supply chain issues are company specific. Ford and GM is struggling while Tesla is not. Costco is able to stock its shelves, but many retailers are having trouble. If you look at NVIDIA and AMD when it comes to chips, right? They're killing it when Intel seems to be struggling. Why is that? I don't know. So it's not the supply chain is impacting. It impacted the autos significantly, and I explained the reason why. Autos have a different supply chain where it's more real time. And when you have the iPhone coming out, again, you only have really 2 companies. It's Samsung and Taiwan Sebi that manufacture almost all the chips for everyone out there. There's other companies that do a little bit, but they have all the fabs and everything, and they have a certain amount of capacity. And a lot of the technology companies saw what was coming with COVID, and they called these guys and said, listen, we need more capacity, we need more capacity, we need more capacity. And the autos saw it late. And when the autos called these guys and said, hey, we need capacity, they're like, we have none. Sorry, we got to build more fab plants, which takes 4 to 5 years to build. So that's why you're seeing the struggle with autos, where if you know, I think Jim Cramer went on and said he tried to buy a car and it's not going to get delivered till March, and he ordered it in March, right? So that's a year, and I'm hearing around 9 months. So it's different for companies and also some industries, but Tesla's not really seeing this problem, that big problem as Ford and GM are. My biggest concern with this whole thing, and by the way, I research this material all the time in supply chain. The last 2 weeks, finally, it has kind of bottomed and starting to get better. Finally. We were told this was going to happen like 6 months ago by Ford and GM. So it's finally bottoming to the point it's getting a little bit better. Not great. But my biggest concern is the delivery component. So we could build more containers, which is Trinity. Use more robots, AI to produce goods, which is Omron, Rockwell, companies that do this. And we'll figure out the shipping problem. I believe that. What I'm most worried about is the trucking problem. So that last mile delivery, once these ships unload. And I think that's why you're seeing, even with the ships, where, hey, we're here, but we have no one to really take these goods. And yeah, you're loading these stockyards and stuff like that. But when it comes to trucking, we currently have a shortage of more than 80,000 truck drivers right now. We're going to need to hire, and this is based on industry statistics, 1 million new drivers over the next 10 years. So 100,000 a year. I mean, Time's reporting that, hey, it's not a trucker shortage or they get treated bad or whatever. Listen, you can make $100,000 and get full benefits right now. They're dying for workers. They're dying for workers and they need them. And prices are going up. They're able to pass those costs on, raise prices to their customers so they're able to pay you more money because they need this stuff shipped. They need it shipped. They all do cost analysis, and it makes sense to pay truck drivers more than $100,000 right now. Still can't get them. So the large retailers, where you have Costco, which you mentioned, Walmart, Target, Best Buy, they're going to overpay to lock in drivers. So they're going to have less inventory concerns. These guys have a lot of money. But what this does is it creates an almost impossible situation for the smaller players. because they're seeing their costs skyrocket, raw materials, everything skyrocket, yet they can't get inventory on the shelves because all this capacity is being eat up. And this is from industry people that I've talked to who are very deep in this industry, where they're overbidding, where smaller companies think they have freight, they think they have trucking, and next thing you know, they're like, no, we didn't secure it. Why? Because it's a Walmart or one of the big guys came over and offered them double, which they can afford. And long term, it's better for them if they're eliminating the competition. That's what happens. That's why during Christmas season, holiday season, you're going to see deals that Walmart and Costco can provide and Best Buy that no one else can. No one else could touch them because they can afford to take a loss on certain products because they know that person's going to come in and buy numerous products over the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. So they're willing to lose money. So that return on ad spend is 70%. They're happy. Doesn't have to be over 100% on day one. Because, once they lock in that customer or whatever at Best Buy and they're going to go through Geek Squad and all this stuff, they have all this data available. All this data spending money on. And that's going to hurt the small players. It's not a good scenario. But you're looking through the holiday season, I'm going to tell you this, guys. There's going to be winners and losers. It's not that, hey, retail sales had a great number last month, just came out today. Everybody's going to benefit. Macy's, Kohl's, you see more money pour into those companies from hedge funds and the 13Fs and Kohl's and Macy's. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow with Daniel. But you're going to see not every company benefit from this, and there's going to be big losers. You're going to see this trend play out over the next 2 months, the holiday season. Just be careful what retailers you own going into the holiday season. Because some of them, as you see with this market through earnings season, there was companies that went up 15, 20% on good earnings and companies that fell 20, 30% on bad earnings. Like a Peloton, I can name 30 of them that crashed that are well-named companies that people that had growth trends intact and all of a sudden just disappeared. So be careful. We're an expensive market, and when companies miss, you get wrecked. And not everyone's going to benefit. Not everyone can get their goods to the stores for the holiday season. There's not enough capacity out there. We all know that. It's going to be interesting to see how this trend plays out. Going to look for hints. You might see some recommendations or some shorts come out in my newsletters going forward, but something to think about if you're holding retails into the quarter.